Okay, campers, here is the version 2 of the cart creation circuit board for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. So this is what the back of the board looks like, and this is the front. So I've kind of cleaned it up and made it a little less cluttered. I've added ROM size jumpers for all 4 potential ROMs. This version 2 has multi-games built in, and the chart section here determines one of 12 possible multi-game scenarios. And this also is still simple. If you just want to make a game that's one ROM, you put the ROM in. It's just like the other one, and you just solder the appropriate jumpers, and you're off to the races. And so of course it'll do the EX High ROM and the Star Oceans and Zelda Ancient Stone Tablets and so on. So now this one I went ahead and elected to put a battery holder on. The battery just slides in, and that's it. And so when it's in the cartridge, it won't come out because of the case size. So if you're gonna if you want to use a regular battery, you can just unsolder, just heat up this leg here and heat up that leg there. This thing comes off, and then you have 2 holes where you can put the tabbed batteries in if you want to solder one in. In the manual or the write-up I'll do here pretty soon is I'll explain what all the mappers are and the static RAM saves. But basically this section here controls multi-game features. So all this is related to multi-game only. So if you're not doing a multi-game, then you don't need to worry about any of that. So but this controls basically high and low switching on the fly. So if you have a mixed game where you have one game that's high ROM and another game that's low ROM, in the multi-game feature, this this would determine based on the charts when it switches to high and low. So alright, so I'll show you some examples of some ones that I've already made, and I'll just go through them pretty quick here. Now, this board here is Parallel Worlds, Goddess of Wisdom, Link to the Past, and the BS Zelda maps 1 and 2. So I'll go ahead and pop it in here. So on all the multi-games, you hold the reset for 3 seconds and it'll switch to the next game in the cycle. And it also will retain, whatever game you were playing last. So if you were playing game number 3, when you power off and then come back to play it later, it'll start up on the same game that it was last on. So I'll just show you, I just made some quick save points just to show that it does save independent saves. So this is Parallel Worlds remodel. 1, 2, 3. This should be Goddess of Wisdom. So here's Goddess of Wisdom. You can see it saved that one. 1, 2, 3. So the multi-games is a little complicated, but my main goal was to keep the building of a single game as simple as possible. So this is the original Link to the Past. And there's my save there. 1, 2, 3. Now all the Parallel Worlds, Goddess of Wisdom, and Link to the Past are all low mapped games. BS Zelda is a high mapped game. So this is a good example of how it does the switching on the fly, which I think is pretty damn cool. So, all right, so this is one game. Now I'm going to show you, I've got Donkey Kong 1, Donkey Kong 2, and Donkey Kong 3. So I've got all three on one board. And I did a couple of quick games to get to some save points on this one as well. So this is Donkey Kong 3. Come on, introduction. So, it shows my save point here. 1, 2, 3. This will be Donkey Kong number 1. Come on. So there's my save point on Donkey Kong 1. 1, 2, 3. So Donkey Kong 2, here's my save point there. So on to the next one. This is just a real simple one ROM. This has Super Mario World and Zelda, just in one cartridge. Just a simple, easy 2-in-1. So here's Mario. You can see that I have my save point there. 1, 2, 3. Oh, whoops. 1, 2, 3. Didn't hold reset long enough there. All right, so there's my save point on Zelda. So you can see that it keeps the independent games, static RAMs, independent. Now this one's a pretty cool example of what the multi-game board can do. So here I have a 322, 322, 322. Oops, get it in camera. And then this is a 16 megabit, so a 160 chip. So this section here determines ROM size. So ROM 1, 2, and 3 are all 322s. ROM 4 is a 160. So, and I'll go over more of that detail. But this one has the Ancient Stone Tablets, the 2 megabyte version. So week 1 and 2, weeks 3 and 4. Then it has Parallel Worlds, Goddess of Wisdom, and then BS Zelda Maps 1 and 2. So this has almost everything a Zelda player could possibly want. And I don't believe I created save points on these, but I'll just go through and show you. Now the Ancient Stone Tablets saves is transparent, which means, you know, the microcontroller takes care of keeping the same static RAM data, you know, for all four weeks. And then when you go beyond the Ancient Stone Tablets game, so when you get to Parallel Worlds or Goddess of Wisdom, then it'll start retaining independent saves for that. So this is week 3. 1, 2, 3. So this is week 4. So then we got should be parallel worlds. I'm just going to go quickly through them so you can see. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. And again, all the ancient stone tablets and all the Zeldas are low mapped except for the BS Zelda. So this is Goddess of Wisdom. And, 2, 3. And then here's BS Zelda. So, pretty cool combination if you ask me. But all right, so next is Adventure Island 1 and 2. Again, both of them fit on one chip. Here's Adventure Island. Now, Adventure Islands, again, is an example of number 1 is low mapped and number 2 is high mapped. So, and number 1 does not use static RAM. Number 2 does use static RAM. So, 2, 3. Okay, so that's that. And again, this will be a lengthy write-up on how all these work, you know, so you can do it on your own. And then I'll just show you Final Fantasy IV Anniversary Edition. It's just, this is what I call a single game, and so obviously it is a single game, but all right, so on a single game, you don't worry about any of this. A single game, you pick, you tell it the ROM size, and then you set the jumpers accordingly. So you can kind of see the settings there. If it's an extended high ROM or Star Ocean, then it's you do 1 + 3. If it's a high, you just do 2 and 3, and if it's a low, you do 2, 3, and 4. So Final Fantasy IV is low, so you do the jumper there, there, and there, and that's it. So you got, so burn your ROM, solder it in, set your jumpers, set your ROM size, you're done. And so in the event that you have a game, there's only like 12 or 13 games that are 256K. But in the event you do, then you would first cut these 2 points here. Okay, and then you would solder. If it's a 256K low ROM game, then you do the right jumpers, you know, both of those. If it's high, then you do the left jumpers. So there are some 16K games out there, and you'll just have to Yukon them, like Donkey Kong's. Mine have been Yukon 64, where it doesn't go through the SRAM check. So while I have a captive audience, I'm gonna show you a couple of other things now. I have a what I call this simple version, and you can use a 8-bit 32-pin, you know, 27C080 ROM here, or you can use the 27C 322 160 800 over here. So this is also capable of a multi-game if you have a PIC little microcontroller here. I'm still working on that part, but as far as single game that does not use SRAM, high or low, this is it. And so it's a real simple, you can mount a switch here. See if I have one here. I do. So you could mount one, like a little switch, where you could, you know, if you're testing or you don't know if it's high or low, then you could, you know, do that. So this one here is Batman combo that I'm making. So what's interesting about this combination is that I've got 3 Batmans on one chip, and 2 of them are 1 megabyte, and the third one is a 2 megabyte game. So normally you would not be able to have that combination, just because of how the address lines are needed to be handled. But this one was able to do it. So, all right, I'm about to wrap this up. Here's the third Batman. This just shows how the simple board can do multi-game. So, Revenge of the Joker, whatever. All right, so I will have a separate video on the simple board later, and then let's see here. So, and then I'll show you this last one. This is my prototype of the SA1 boards I'm working on. I have a separate video already up on this one, but thought I'd highlight it in case anybody wants to check out the other video that shows more about this board. But essentially this is single or multi-game capable, multi-game maximum of 4 games. So this is Mario RPG. 1, 2, 3. There's really only 5 or 6 games on this system that are even worth having. And Mario RPG, the 2 Kirby's, and Dragon Ball Z. 5th game would be the Paradis game, which is one of my favorites. So you can see that this retained its save. 1, 2, 3. So what good is it to have a multi-game if it won't save your progress on each game? So that's seems important to me. So here's Kirby Dream Land 3, and you can see it has a save point here as well. 1, 2, 3. So this is Dragon Ball Z. So, I mean, these are probably, what's on this board here is probably the most popular. So that's just a quick, so anyhow, so that's a long video of stuff that I'm working on and stuff that are ready. The cartridge creation boards, which is this one, is almost ready. I have to program all these little microcontrollers here and here. This one controls the CIC, so it can be it's the super CIC, so it can go European or American. And then this one up here controls the banking for the multi-games. So anyways, I'm in the process of doing some final testing, and and programming these little microcontrollers, and then they will be ready to ship out. So thanks for watching.